Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head to Yokohama in Kanagawa Prefecture, just to the south of Tokyo, and this is another new brewery that we're going to have a look at today. So we're going to go to Yokohama Brewery and have a look at their Dusseldorf style alt beer. So this is a nice German style beer, this one comes in at 5.5%, so it should be quite a nice one. This is one that Casey and Eric at Sotogami Akihabira have actually reviewed on their channel, so you can have a look at their review. They've got some really nice beer videos. The gamer music and stuff is something that I really enjoy, so go and check out their channel. As always, the link to the Facebook page is in the video description below. They seem to quite enjoy this beer, so I'm looking forward to trying this one for myself. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you do want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my future reviews that I'll do from Yokohama Brewery. Very first time I'm trying one of their beers, of course. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more Japanese beer reviews, go into the channel homepage and search Japan. They'll all pop up. And do get in touch and let me know some of the other Japanese beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It'd be much appreciated because I know there are many breweries in Japan. But anyway, to tell you a little bit about Yokohama Brewery. So Yokohama Brewery was established back in 1995, which makes it the oldest craft brewery in the city, and apparently they've been granted the City Mayor's Award after receiving recognition at the Yokohama Goods Committee. They entered this thing with thousands of products for competition, and apparently they came out very highly, so the mayor of Yokohama decided that he would decorate the company. So the original head brewer at the brewery was Suzuki Shinya, but he left in 2010 to found the Bay Brewing Company, and the new head brewer is Gojo, who's assisted by Hamada and Fukuta. And Suzuki mainly brewed beers in the Czech and German styles, but Gojo has since started experimenting with Belgian beers as well, although in their range they do have some kind of British beers and American style beers as well. So the brewery actually has a bar and restaurant on the site. The restaurant is upstairs from the brewery and it's called Uyama, and it serves a mix of Asian and Western foods as well, and apparently all of their beers are kind of designed to pair with these different foods. So just to list those beers for you, they've got the Pilsner, this one the Alt beer, the Weizen, the English IPA, the Yokohama Lager, and the Pale Ale as well, although when I checked the website it said that the English IPA wasn't in production at the moment, so it may return after a little while. But yeah, this should be quite a nice beer. As I say, Casey and Eric seem to quite enjoy this one in their video, so I'm looking forward to trying that. The name Alt beer, of course, comes from the German style of beer Alt, which originated in Dusseldorf in Westphalia. And the name, actually, this is from Casey and Eric's video as well, they were saying that the name Alt originates from the fact that most German beers use a bottom fermenting yeast, whereas alt beer is different. It means alternative basically, and this is because this uses a top fermenting yeast, which of course is in contrast to the other German styles of beer. So I'll just let you have a little look at the artwork on this one before we open it up. I've tried a few alt beers before. Normally you get a nice caramelly sort of bready malt base from these, a little bit of earthy hop and some kind of red fruity ester as well. They always can turn out quite nicely. There you can see the nice hop flowers and things on the crown, but Yokohama presented this one quite nicely. All of their beers of course have a similar artwork, they're just different colours. So there you can see Yokohama, and then Biru of course in katakana there. Katakana of course is the one that the character set they use in Japanese when it comes to introducing foreign sounds into the language. So let's get this guy open and we'll get on with the tasting then. This should be quite an interesting one. There we are. So let's get this guy out and into the glass. So it's pouring exactly as you would expect from a German style alt beer. That typical kind of coppery colour that you would expect from this one. You can see the bottle is kind of sweating a little bit. There's a lot of condensation on that in there. The fridge must be really quite cold actually. So as you can see, this is poured a nice kind of coppery brown colour, this beer. It looks very nice actually. As you would expect, there's a nice finger of a frothy kind of beigey cream head on this one. It looks quite nice. Some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, but quite a few little ones going up towards the bottom of the head. There is a degree of transparency to this, but not too much. If I put my fingers in front of it, you can see behind the camera there is a degree of transparency, but it is quite opaque, so there's not too much light coming through that. As I say, some big bubbles going up towards the bottom of the glass and some little ones there just as well, but you can see just one or two little sediment particles there. Maybe it's just due to the temperature of my fridge. I maybe need to sort that out a little bit, but as you expect, it looks exactly like a German kind of alt beer, Dusseldorf alt beer. Some great examples of that from Germany, of course. The Schumacher is probably the one that is quite famous actually, but this beer looks very nice, so let's have a look at the aroma. Yeah, without sugaring the beer up, you're getting what you'd expect, a nice kind of bready malt base. It smells like a white bready malt base rather than a rye, German rye bread malt base, which you sometimes get in Schwarz beers and things like that. But it smells really nice. It's got quite a rich caramel aroma to it. When you sugar it up a little bit more, when you sugar it up a little bit more, you start to get a bit more biscuity, grainy character in it. And then the caramel really is coming out. This beer smells quite sweet and quite malty to me. That's really where the aroma's lying. It does actually smell quite boozy. That caramel aroma is really rich. Yeah, definitely big, kind of quite toasted caramel aroma actually on this one. So do just enjoy the aroma of this a little bit before you actually try it for yourself. I'd say there's a little bit of earthy hop coming out of there as well. That grainy character is really mixing with the earthy hop. Maybe there's a little bit of kind of grassy notes in there. I would guess with this being a German style beer, they'll have imported some Tecknanger or Hersbrucker or Hallertau hops, something like that for this one. Probably Tettnang I would think, so I think Tettnang is the nearest hop area to Dusseldorf. I may be mistaken about that though. But yeah, big grainy character, nice earthy hop when you sugar it up. Also some grassy character, and you can pick up a little bit of a red fruity ester, kind of candied red fruit. It always reminds me of the little heart-shaped sweets that you get in these Haribo Star Mix things, of course, from Germany as well. But without further ado, let's get stuck into this beer then. This is the Yokohama Brewery's Dusseldorf style alt beer. Kampai. That's actually quite nice. In my experience of the alt beers, this one is a little bit lighter in the mouthfeel, but the ones that I've drank in Germany are the ones that are brewed right at the Brauhaus, so obviously you will get a bit of a thicker mouthfeel for that. But this one, it does have all of the elements of the flavour you'd expect, but it is just that little bit more light and a little bit more drinkable, I guess. So it's probably, it takes the style and kind of caters it a bit more to the Japanese beer mouthfeel, I would say. But yeah, that's actually pretty good. It's a nice drinkable beer. You know, in terms of the kind of craft beers and things, when you try the American takes on the alt beers and the sort of new wave craft beer takes on the alt beers, the caramel is a lot more prominent. These flavours are all a little bit bigger. This one goes more into the kind of subtle area of this beer style. It's almost a little bit between where the American ones are and the German ones are. The German ones I find have a bit more of the bready malt base, whereas the American ones are a little bit more sugary, I would say. But yeah, it's certainly a nice drinkable beer. So in the middle of your palate, you've got a bready malt base that just comes in. That goes right across the middle of your palate. As the flavour progresses a bit more, you start to get more of the kind of graininess from that malt base. You can feel a little bit of dry character coming from this grainy breadiness that's in there. And it is quite nice actually, and in the middle of the palate you can get some of that richer caramel. It's probably fair to say there's a little bit of a kind of biscuity, syrupy character to this beer as well. It's nicely done. The flavour balances well, and it's got everything you'd expect from this style of beer. There is a little bit of a kind of leathery or slightly nutty flavour to this one as well. That's something that's quite subtle in this beer style normally. You can get that little bit of nutty character in there, and that usually comes, in my experience, from some of these German malts that they use. I noticed that in some of these kind of Brauhaus brewed beers, you get this kind of subtle nutty flavour, sometimes a little bit woody or leathery, and you can pick up a bit of that in this one just as you move towards the edge of the palate here. But it's very nice, and like I say, the flavour blends together quite well. So on the hoppy side of the beer, I'd say, yeah, Around the back sides of the palate it's quite earthy. There is a tiny bit of bitterness there, but overall it is quite smooth. As you come further forward, it's a little bit grassy and floral, and then around the front curve of the palate, that floralness, that floral character just disappears a bit, and it is more grassy. You know, it's a classic German noble hop character that comes out of this beer. Just behind the front of the palate too, you get that little oily bubble, and that's where some of these kind of red candied fruit esters are coming out. You know, it's a little bit like a kind of candied strawberry flavour that you're getting from this one, but it's nice. I mean, as I say, it has all the flavours you'd expect from the Alt beer. This one kind of meets in the middle where the new wave ones kind of meet and the classical German ones. I always found the German ones to be a little bit more bready than the American ones. The American ones really lean more towards the caramel side of things. They've got the hop character bang on this one. I would say the hoppiness is just nice, and it fits in well with the German style. German beer styles, of course, are pretty popular here in Japan. Many of the little craft breweries, or the G-Biru breweries, are brewing beers in this German style, so it's pretty nice stuff that they're doing actually. So in terms of the mouthfeel, this one, and this is where it's different from the German Alt beer, it's quite light-bodied, I would say. The carbonation does have a little bit of a prickle. That's quite common in Japan. They do like beers to be quite kind of light and drinkable, and of course you do get quite high temperatures here in parts of Japan. It can be a very, very hot place. So you've got a light mouthfeel to this one. There's a good bit of malty sweetness. There's also a little bit of dryness from the kind of from the cereal part of the malt base as well. That breadiness gives you a little bit of dryness as the flavour progresses. The hops are overall quite smooth. There's not too much bitterness there, and there's also a little bit of a juicy fruit character as well. But overall for me, it's a pretty good beer. You know, it's not going to blow your mind in terms of flavour, but it's a nice, quite drinkable ale, this one. So if you get the chance to try it, I definitely recommend that you should. It's always cool to try these kind of German beer styles brewed by different countries. It's always cool to try these sort of things, and some of these Japanese breweries do it quite well. So yeah, as always, I hope you've enjoyed this beer review, and thank you for watching. If you want to see another opinion on this beer, go and check out Sotogami Akihabara, where Casey and Eric have reviewed it. The link to their page is in the description below, so make sure you check it out. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Make sure you check out my social media, and do let me know your own thoughts on this beer and the brewery itself, and it'd be great to have some recommendations from you guys. But until the next time, slàinte just now, and I will catch you soon with more beer reviews. There's many more Japanese beers to come. Slàinte till then, and I will talk to you guys later. Kanpai.